Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana, yes. The current debate going on in the country is on how William Ruto's government is handling demonstrators. It's believed the police are using a lot of unnecessary force on peaceful demonstrators. Instead of William Ruto calling them to order, he seems to be encouraging them to be more brutal on the demonstrators. Speaking earlier today, William Ruto, Rigathi Gachagua, and Kithure Kindiki swore that there will never be demonstrations in Kenya. Another confirmation that in the event Kenya decides to protest and to demonstrate, then the police will be more brutal than actually they have been before. And that brutality, that police brutality, has caught the attention of the United Nations on human rights, that earlier today castigated Ruto's government because of police brutality. But in this video, I want us to remind ourselves of a clip that has been going viral for some days now. In the clip, William Ruto is suggesting on how the police should be handling demonstrators. Listen to William Ruto before we proceed.
They are not the people who killed. These are the people who had demonstrations. They had demonstrations in the streets. They were arrested by the police. For your information, of the 1,300 people killed, 70% of those people were killed by the police.
40%. So here.
Not 40%. You go, look at the report. Bullet wounds, These were killed by the police. So, when you close down a country, when you bring in security laws in a country, in a situation where the tensions were high, how many people were shot in Kibera? The bodies were all over the place. That the people who were arrested, right, unless the police prove, because we told them, you cannot arrest people who were demonstrating. If you have proof that so-and-so killed, like what they have done now, they have arraigned some people on evidence, hard evidence.
But at that point, how would the police prove? If they were arresting them, you had no evidence that they had no evidence against those people in the first place, but you are calling for their release. Completely disregarding the victims in this particular case of those crimes.
We live in Kenya, Makali. If you round up 1,000, 2,000 people in the street, in Eldoret or in Kisumu, how would you say these people are responsible for torching that place or the other place? And for your information...
Okay, but then how would you explain those who had actually committed crimes? What about the crimes which had been committed?
Those
killing,
who had committed,
property destruction, theft?
Those who had committed crimes, the police needed hard evidence. When we told the police to release, if they had hard evidence, they would then say, we cannot release Makali because we have evidence against him. We cannot release so.
That was William Ruto over 10 years ago. At that time, Kibaki's government had unleashed the police on the demonstrators. So William Ruto was just giving his opinion on how demonstrators should be handled by the police. The police should not be arresting demonstrators or should not be maiming and killing demonstrators. That's William Ruto's belief, or that was William Ruto's belief at that time. What does that mean? Looking at what Ruto's government, with him as the president, is doing to demonstrators. The first thing coming out very clearly, William Ruto is not very honest and very sincere with Kenyans. Kenyans have a right to demonstrate and to picket. That's something in the Constitution. It's not for William Ruto to give Kenyans that right. It's a right Kenyans give unto themselves. So William Ruto should just obey the constitution. The same way he believed years back that the police should not be arresting or even maiming or killing the demonstrators, that should be his stand now that he's the president. But you are seeing he has taken a U-turn. Another confirmation that Ruto is just a double speaker. He's a leader who is not very honest with Kenyans. He does not mean what he says. And that was also evident during the campaigns. Ruto promised a lot to Kenyans and specifically to the hustlers that he was going to form a government with them. If you compare his government now to the previous governments, his government is coming out as oppressing the people more than all the previous governments. So Ruto does not mean what he says. And that brings us again to the issue of integrity. Is Ruto fit holding a public office? The answer is a very big no. Ruto is not fit holding a public office. He can't be trusted. And also, if you look at what is happening today in government, and then you compare to what Ruto was saying, that is an indictment on the police officers in Ruto's government. It's clear they are breaking the law. The police should be upholding the rule of law, maintaining law and order. What we are seeing in Kenya, the police have become criminals. If you look at what is happening in Sondu, politicians, with the help of the police, are arming goons with arrows and spears to attack other Kenyans. Yes, politicians, with the help of the police, are arming goons with arrows and spears to attack other Kenyans. How can you describe that kind of a police force? That's a rogue, criminal police force. And that explains the nature of this government. This government is clearly coming out as a criminal government. And that's something I always say in my videos. Kenyans are dealing with a criminal government. And that's the truth, ladies and gentlemen. And also, if you dig deeper, something tells me that William Ruto and his team, they are out to revenge. They have got so many unfinished businesses with some people. So they are out to revenge. And they don't care how many Kenyans will die because of their revenge. If you listen to William Ruto speak, it's as if he has got some unfinished business with Uhuru and with Raila Odinga. So he's trying to revenge against Uhuru and against Raila Odinga by injuring their supporters. That's something I'm seeing here, ladies and gentlemen. Ruto is not brave enough to face Raila or Uhuru directly, but he wants to use, or rather he wants to revenge through their supporters. That's what I'm seeing here, ladies and gentlemen. Ruto is just but a coward. Instead of facing Raila and Uhuru head-on, he fears that. Even before I conclude, Ruto has proved beyond any reasonable doubt that people sometimes don't change. And he has also proved how Kenyans sometimes can be political novices. If you look at William Ruto's track record, right from the 90s, when he started his politics through YK 92 to 2013, 2007, 2017, I'm seeing a William Ruto was not changed at all. The same William Ruto is still the same. It's only unfortunate that some Kenyans are politically naive to realize that a bad leader, irrespective of the office that leader holds, that leader will be bad. We still remember in 2013, when he had an opportunity of appointing about half of the cabinet, he only appointed people from his Kalenjin community. And at that time, the Kenyans gave him that benefit of doubt because he was not the president. Right now, as the president, he's doing the exact thing he did in 2013. Kalenjins are the majority. In fact, these are purely Kalenjin government. Ruto is not inspiring that confidence as a symbol of national unity. He's not inspiring that confidence amongst Kenyans. As I conclude, I'm seeing a very high possibility, once again, and that's something I did highlight in our earlier video. Ruto, the gods have conspired to destroy William Ruto. Ruto seems to be deaf and blind. The kind of utterances he gives out and the way this government is also behaving seems to confirm that the gods have conspired to destroy William Ruto. William Ruto is shooting himself on the foot. He sees himself as above the law. There is a lot of impunity. All this will just help in digging William Ruto's political grave as a leader and also as a human being. Let me stop it there, ladies and gentlemen. For those who would want to support our forum, I've pinned my number down below. Contact me through the number. Let's meet in our next analysis. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Kenya.